Before we get started on the video, just want to say it's a new year, fast approaching. Don't forget we're giving away a West Ham top for free every month for the whole season. So we're doing one for January. So all you need to do is just be a subscriber. It's free to do so. Just click on the subscribe button. You enter the competition. And we've already given away 5, I think, already so far. So yeah, just keep an eye out for the videos. We do one once a month. I'll do it right first week of January and you can enter it then. We'll do a special video and etc, etc. But you need to be a subscriber. So just click on the subscribe button. As I say, free to do so. Helps the channel. Helps us keep going. So why not? Look, we've got Arsenal later on, but I don't want to talk about that. I've done a preview a little bit earlier on that game. Just quickly to talk about David Moyes situation, because it's been a little while since we had David Moyes, isn't it? It's been at least an hour. Let's talk about him again. No, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a story, isn't it? It's going to rumble all season. It's just it's constantly in the background. It's almost like we've become like the new Arsenal with Wenger, isn't it? Like he's in, he's out. Every time he loses a game, he's going to go. Then it's just so up and down all the time as David Moyes stuff. It is just what it is. Fan base are very obviously, of course, divided over the Moyes situation. It is what it is. And the last time, we've done a video on this, it said, and it's sort of stuck with this as well throughout, is that the club are going to make a decision at the end of the season. I think that's always been the understanding. That's what their plans are to do. That I think about April, May time, they will make their decision whether they're going to keep David Moyes on, offer him a new deal, or they're not, or they're going to go elsewhere. The last video we did, which was a few weeks ago, regarding this, was that I think it was felt widely accepted, really, amongst people within football, media, etc., that this is probably Moyes' last season. It looks like it's going to be. It's shaping up to be that way. Well, rumours are now within the press and doing their rounds is that David Moyes has actually confided in people around him and said that actually he's expected to go. He believes this is his last season. He is going to be leaving West Ham come close to play at the end of the season. I mean, how true that is, who knows? I mean, who knows? How they get these stories, I'm not quite sure. But that's what's been doing the rounds, and who these friends are, who knows? But that's what they're saying, that he's basically like to go. As I said, the signs are that it is his last season because, well, they haven't offered him a new contract. And although we've said that was always widely accepted anyway, between Moyes and the club, it worked for all parties. You get the feeling that if this was a manager that you were absolutely 100% backing and 100% really happy with and going, we can see a future with Sky, surely you would have just got the deal done now. Moyes himself even suggested, doesn't it, that it doesn't help the dressing room. Players probably feel a bit uneasy about it. So it's all a bit strange, this whole Moyes stuff. However, there is a slight sort of turn to this, and it's come out of, I think Claren Hugh have reported it at the moment, in that they're suggesting that actually the board are very happy with David Moyes. That again, they're sticking with the same principle. What we've been reporting is that the club are going to make a decision at the end of the season anyway, regardless. So basically, stop worrying about it. We're going to make a decision there. But at this stage, the club are very happy with him. In fact, they highlighted as well that his relationship with Tim Steidten apparently has improved. I think there was issues at the beginning, but they seem to have got a lot better. Obviously, Moyes. And I understand it, that David Moyes wants to stay. I don't think there's any reason why he would want to leave. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the question is, are they going to offer him a new deal? That is the big question, isn't it? Like, because if you're a football club owner, if you are in David Sullivan's shoes, ultimately, really, all he cares about is results. I'm guessing. I can't imagine that when they have these board meetings once every few months and they're looking at the figures and looking at their projections and what the expectations were, I can't imagine really that the style of football is the top of their list. I just can't imagine it's a great conversation they must have amongst each other. How well are we playing on the pitch? I imagine really how well they're playing on the pitch is judged on results. And if it's judged on results, which ultimately probably is more, if you're on the board, they're looking at figures. They're just sitting there going, yeah, tick, tick, tick. We've got that. We're in the Premier League. Great. Right, okay. Where are we in the league? We're getting that money in. Great. That's how they're going to be thinking. So it's no surprise really that David Moyes is going to be considered for a new deal. It really isn't. I mean, whether it will come of it, I don't know. But it's certainly one that's really tough to call at this stage, isn't it? In where this is all going to go, because on one hand, you feel that, okay, it looks like it's David Moyes' final season. That seems to be, as I said, widely accepted in the football world, amongst the media. You know, it feels that that's the case. Even as we say, we've got news coming out now that David Moyes is telling people close to him that he's probably going to be off. So there's all these sort of signs that West Ham are going to look to bring someone new. And obviously got Tim Steidten in, and there's always that feeling that he'd probably want to bring his own man in eventually. So you kind of understand it. But then on the other hand, you're looking at a manager that's going to be like going, well, what's he done wrong? Because as I say, park the performances and the style of football a little bit aside, okay? Just look at the results. They're going to go, well, why did we get rid of him? Well, you're crazy. Like, no, yeah, he's done well here. He's done well here. So it is really difficult. Very tough. And of course, we need to bear in mind that West Ham have been down this path before. We sacked David Moyes, brought in Pellegrini, i.e. the Premier League winning Pellegrini that was going to, play great football and bring all these exciting players in, and we were going to be challenging top four and that kind of stuff. And obviously nothing ever came of it, and it was a disaster. And we ended up going back to David Moyes. So you do wonder what the thought process is at the moment with David Sullivan, etc., and the owners and how they feel. Because, as I say, I imagine that a lot of their conversations revolve around data rather than style. Do you know what I mean? I can't imagine them being too fussed about going, oh yeah, well, we didn't play enough high press that game. We didn't hold the ball as much. They'd be like, I don't really care. Did we win? Great. Yeah. Okay. Tick. That's how I imagine it to be. So it is really interesting. And of course there is then the other interesting aspects of other managers that are available. Is that going to sway West Ham to make a decision, i.e. to change the manager and to get rid of David Moyes? Of course, Eddie Howe's a name that seems to be just suddenly cropping up with Newcastle at the moment, sort of stuttering slightly. They're struggling obviously with form and also struggling with injuries. But so you look at Eddie Howe and think, could he well be a manager on West Ham's radar? Could he be someone that West Ham are possibly looking at? I just don't know. Arnie Slot seems to be a name that's going around. Obviously, you've got Will Steele as well. I think he might be a little bit too inexperienced. Michael Carrick as well might fall into that bracket. It's tough. I mean, I think it's unfair on West Ham fans, actually, to do this whole Moyes in, Moyes out. I really don't like it. I don't think it's fair to say to a West Ham fan, do you want David Moyes as manager? Because that's not the full story, is it? If someone said to you, right, are you going to get rid of your car and replace it? You're not just going to go yes until you know what the replacement is, are you? So I think like that with the manager. It isn't fair to everyone just go, oh, you Moyes in and Moyes out. I'm Moyes out, and it depends on what you're saying, isn't it? If someone says to you, David Moyes out at the end of the season and we bring in Xabi Alonso from Leverkusen, I imagine the vast majority of fans go, yes, I'll have some of that, please. We'll have some of him. He's done fabulously well out there and brilliant, great record, lovely football, doing really well. Exciting. If someone then goes, I'll tell you what, we'll get rid of David Moyes and bring in Gary O'Neill, some fans might go, oh, hang on. Ooh. Some of those fans that wanted Moyes out might suddenly hit the brakes and go, actually, I think we might stick with what we've got. So it's very difficult to say. But I think it's just going to be something, unfortunately, it's just going to continually rumble this story on and on and on until the end of the season. It's something we've just got to live with. And obviously, it's going to intensify more and more towards the end of the season. But look, at the end of the day, results-wise, Moyes is not doing himself any harm, is he, in terms of trying to get a new deal? It might not have been the most convincing starts of the season in terms of our performances, but results-wise, it's certainly been pretty good, albeit a few dark moments. There's no two ways about it. But look, it's a big game tonight. Really is, in terms of... bit of pride, really, I think, for West Ham. We could come off a great result against Manchester United. It'd be nice to get the feeling that we're going to carry on some good form. I think that's one thing that's been very frustrating as well this season. It's been a little bit lack of consistency with us in terms of our performances. We put in some very good displays, and then something we never seem to follow it up. I think this is one where we need to see that. At the end of the day, the pressure's off. We don't have to win this game. It's not vital that we go there and get 3 points. It would just be lovely, I think, for pride and really for bragging rights, wouldn't it, to go there and get something, get in their faces. So, look, let's hope we do. It's a big game. Let's just hope that West Ham can carry it on from what we did against Manchester United and give Arsenal a bloody hard game. Come on, you ones.